The black poverty rate skyrockets under Joe Biden, as well as black wealth dropping under 30%. This is something that it's inevitable when you have bad policies. And I have a couple articles that I'm going to show you here. One is black poverty skyrockets under Joe Biden. This is from PJ Media. And I want to talk to you about this because what's interesting in these articles, one is a conservative outlet. The second one's going to be a liberal outlet. And they're both saying essentially the same thing, is that things were doing much better under President Trump. It's no secret that black Americans are struggling to recover under Biden. Despite Democrats repeatedly claiming to be the party of minorities, there's a pattern emerging. Under Obama, painfully slow recovery from the global financial crisis of 2008 curiously left black Americans behind. The Trump economy, however, saw significant gains for everyone, including black Americans. You heard the saying, a rising tide raises all ships. Well, that's what happened under Trump. Democrats will bemoan what they claim is structural racism and pretend like white supremacy is the biggest problem facing the nation. But in the end, it's Democrats and their policies that are keeping black Americans down. Now, you saw that skit I did in the beginning. That's a short you can go check out. I have a link at the bottom of that. It's basically an example or a parody of what is happening. You have black people voting tremendously in high numbers for Democrats. If they don't, the Democrats can't win an election. But yet they benefit from what the Republicans and the policies bring forth, not recognizing why they're benefiting. And then what happens when the new administration comes in? In this case, according to these two articles, they are thrust into poverty and still are faithful to the party. That is a story in and of itself. Now, when it comes to shameless pandering to black community, that's what the Democrats do. Joe Biden is your guy. He'll boast about picking a black female running mate or a black female Supreme Court nominee. But when it comes to actually helping black people in America, you know what really counts? He falls flat. And that's what Democrats do. A bunch of empty promises. It says here, in fact, black poverty, which has reached historic lows under Donald Trump, historic lows under President Trump, is rising on Biden's watch. Under Trump, before the pandemic hit, black poverty reached 16.13%, the lowest ever on record. Today, despite the pandemic being over and pandering-in-chief Joe Biden being in office for 2.5 years, the black poverty rate has yet to return to those historic lows. In fact, they've gone up. Here's an article from ABC News on your side. A liberal outlet, black wealth dropped 30% under Obama Biden, says political consultant. So in this particular article, they're talking to a gentleman by the name of Raynard Jackson. He's the CEO of the political consulting group, Raynard and Associates. Here he gives his opinions on some economics that happened under Obama and Biden, and he contrasts that with Trump as it relates to blacks and Hispanics. He says here, looking back at the numbers from the past few years, he said that under Obama Biden, 8 years, black net worth decreased 30%, according to the Federal Reserve, but under Trump, black wage increased 7% and Hispanics increased 7%. These numbers coincide with our previous article. He said here, you can't have a flourishing small business community and an economy that's thriving if you're constantly bringing in illegals, if you're constantly depressing wages because you have cheap labor coming into the workforce, i.e. illegal, said Jackson. Jackson believes the Biden administration's stance hurts their promises, saying the very thing that the Biden administration says they want to address, increased economic activity among black and Hispanic, they're hurting their own cause by allowing. It's almost over 30 to 40 million illegals in the country, and until you get rid of that illegal labor force, all the other things as president is talking about is null and void. This is one of the key things I've been talking to black people about this for years. I mean, illegals are hurting the black community, and now they're waking up to it. And I'm like, come on guys, don't you understand that the illegal alien is actually coming in and literally kicking the black community to the back of the proverbial bus?